You are listening to Rylan, and I think it's time we do a quick register. Nadine?
Here.
Cheryl?
Here.
Nicola?
Here.
Kimberly?
Here.
Are we ready to start the Girls Aloud Radio 2 takeover?
Yes.
Ready.
Well, then let's start the show with the show. Rylan, and I am here with Nadine, Cheryl, Nicola, and Kimberly, and it is a Girls Aloud takeover. Girls, this is so exciting. First and foremost, how are you all?
Very good. How are you?
I'm good. I mean, this is like a bit of a moment for me. I've got 4 lovely ladies opposite me. You're all safe with me, don't worry, as you know. This is so exciting. It's so lovely to have you in the studios. This is a Radio 2 takeover. Now, when they said I was going to be doing this show with you, I was like, what can we do? What can we do? And we thought, I think this is better unscripted. You girls know what you're doing. I think I can make out to know what I'm doing. So what we're going to do, girls, is we're going to be talking about the music today. We're going to be getting questions from fans. We're also going to be getting a couple of celeb questions.
Right.
Yeah, they're involved, us as well. We're going to be hearing some of your biggest hits, and I'm going to be putting you all on the spot individually to find out your feel-good party hits. Now, it could be one of your own, but it hasn't got to be.
Okay.
All right, so have a little think about that, all right? But first up, we are going to go back to 2002 when the 5 of you won Pop Stars The Rivals. You had your first #1 single, and it was the Christmas #1 single of 2002. This is Sound of the Unknown. This is Rylan, and you are listening to the Girls Aloud Takeover right here on BBC Radio 2. So, ladies, let's go back to 2002. I've been through a similar situation with being part of a music show, but for you 5, that was an absolute life-changing moment. Can you actually remember what it felt like to be on that stage and being picked to be in the band?
Yeah,
you can.
Yeah. That's the strangest thing. It's like 20 odd years ago.
I feel like it was so momentous that how could you possibly forget? When you even talk about it, it's like I can still feel this feeling in the pit of my stomach. Yeah.
I feel like it was a different life ago for me. I just can't put myself there anymore.
It was so crazy because you do so much to get there and you rehearse it, and then in the daytime you rehearse, so this is what's going to happen, Davina's going to say he's going to be in the band, and then we rehearse and you're like, well, whatever, you know, this, and then all of a sudden it was happening. You're like, all of this now for this minute for her to say either you're going to be in it and it was all, you know, worthwhile, or you're not. It was really like extreme.
Like full on make or break.
It was extreme.
I always have a bit of a moment because the stage manager that used to stand at the side and push us on is obviously the stage manager for a lot of other shows. So when you go back and do other shows and he's there and you see him and you're like,
oh my God, the fear.
like, hey.
You almost feel like I've got to do what you're going to tell me to do.
Physically push us on to the stage.
And Cheryl, you don't really remember life before that.
Do you know what? I feel like I've lived so much life from then till now. What's it, like 22? How many years ago? 22 years.
22 years. 23 years. Yeah, no.
I know
22.
it happened, and I'm aware it was me.
I was there.
Yeah, but I just can't take myself there anymore. I don't know. That's kind of like a very, very distant part of my life.
Have you like blocked it out for the trauma?
Maybe.
I totally agree with you. Like, I feel it's like you block these things up because you think otherwise you start feeling how you felt back then, like quite vulnerable. And it is a vulnerable experience doing something like that, Kim, isn't it? And you're not in control of anything.
The overwhelming feeling is relief, to be honest. Like, I think whether you got in the band or not, you'd just be glad the whole thing was over.
We did it. We completed it, mate. Well, I did say there was a few questions coming in from celebs, and you've already mentioned the wonderful Davina McCall, everyone. Davina McCall. Davina has asked you girls, after Pop Stars The Rivals, how long did it take you to feel like an actual band? Like you really knew each other and that you'd properly bonded?
That's a great question.
She knows all the good questions.
It is, because remember, she knows what it felt like when the first day when we were like, oh, we're called Girls Aloud, and everyone's just a bit like, so that's what we are. You know, you don't feel like Girls Aloud then.
We were so busy as well right off the bat. As soon as that show ended, everything began, and it didn't stop for years, didn't it? I think probably like 2-3 years in, where probably the second album, where you're like, we're actually
real. We're
real, we're a real band. People are enjoying and receiving it.
Well, it's also like me and Cheryl lived together, Kimberly and Nadine lived together. Sarah had her own place. So I feel like we had our home life and then band life. You would have had your home life and band life. But then, like Cheryl said, after a few years, after every single day, literally like 17 hours a day on
It's crazy.
Rehearsal room or dressing room or in the car.
I think I just turned 19. We were so young. We were changing ourselves anyway all the time.
Yeah.
So you're still always
regardless
learning,
of the band.
Yeah. Learning and changing and growing and getting to know each other in a different way all the time. Even now, this time around, it's like, you know, us three are mothers and a couple of us are 40. And just getting to know each other in a different way again. I don't think that ever stops, that evolving and changing and learning about each other in different ways. It's really part of the beauty of it.
There's no changing it now, girls. We've got you. We have got you.
It's happening.
It's happening. Now, listen, ladies, throughout this experience, obviously, we're here to celebrate the Girls Aloud tracks, but I know the fans want to know your favourite songs. So throughout this Radio 2 takeover, I'm going to be asking you your ultimate floor filler. And first up,
Oh, God.
it is my Nadine.
Right,
I was all poised and ready to go. He was looking at me. I was like, okay.
Kimberly got her handbag out and everything to dance around then. I could feel it. So, Nadine, I want to know, what is your favourite feel-good party song?
Feel good party song. I like the 90s. You know, the 90s, like the club classics.
Come on.
I was just going to bust on a song there, but I shall not. But you know, like the ones like doom 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 doom. You know, all of those, like when they just come on, and it just takes you back to a time when I.
You want like Robin S. Show Me Love?
I want all of that.
You want all of that?
That's what it is. Show me love.
Is that what you want?
Yeah, that's what I want.
Well, do you know what, Nadine? Just for
Thank you, Rylan.
This is just for Nadine. This is Robin S. Show Me Love. This is Rylan and it is the Girls Aloud takeover here on BBC Radio 2. We just heard Girls Aloud, The Promise, and that was the track that you won the Brit Award for. Now, we all remember that iconic moment, girls. Especially
She was dead serious too.
full on serious.
Yeah, she was. It took that long.
Full on serious. What did it feel like? Because by this point, you're grafted. You're grafted for that Brit Award.
I think we've been nominated for 5 at that point.
I mean, that
and
is
we
an
always
absolute
lost
liberty.
out to like an indie band or a, you know,
Somebody that was
McFly got
around
it.
for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Fuming.
They would swoop in, get the awards, and then you never see them again.
Liberties.
There was us.
What did it feel like, Kim, to actually stand up there as Brit winners?
Do you know what? It felt amazing. And I think because it was an award that was chosen by the public, we felt like, they got us it. Like, finally, the public get to speak and we actually finally get our award.
It was like the politics were pushed aside because the public were able to vote for it.
Who they wanted,
We have the most amazing fans, so it felt a bit like a joint moment, actually.
I genuinely felt like the nation celebrated when you finally
Do you
won
know,
that Brit.
I felt like I was sitting there, and when Alan Carr came out to present the award, I kind of knew he got it.
Because you were like, hold up.
I was like, I think we'd done something with Alan, like just like around that time, and I was thinking, this is a great pairing for him to.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, I think we've got it.
I think we won it. I think we won it.
we got it.
You'd have been shattered if you hadn't. You'd be like, oh, Alan. Not going on his chat show again. Well, look, Charlotte online says, what is your funniest memory of being on tour together? So I know you're currently on tour at the moment, but let's go back.
So many memories.
Because I'm sure there's been some standout moments.
What about the cage?
That's what I was going to say.
Go on.
I think it was
We almost died.
Yeah.
What?
But no.
I think it was the greatest hits
It was
tour.
the first one?
No, it
The
wasn't.
first arena one?
It was like a cage stroke platform thing that lowered.
What happened? What?
And then the tech, one side lowered and
No.
the other didn't.
Yeah.
And
But
it was
because the music,
genuinely
We were hanging 20 feet in the
The music
terrifying.
was so loud. We were screaming over the mics, and no one in production could notice what was
Sorry, it's
happening.
not funny.
No, it is now.
We had a kabuki curtain, so it was lowering behind the curtain, and no one in the arena or
Could know what was
see
going
what was
on.
happening. So Kimberly's hands was literally like
I was
sweaty and
literally holding on to
slipping
her, Nicola's
out of
hand
my
like she was
hand.
going to fall out.
Oh my
of
God,
my
this
hand.
tour could never have happened. This could have been the end with the cage.
It was bad. It was really
really
bad.
bad.
And we were just attached by tiny little seatbelts holding on
Yeah.
to like tiny wee bars as we're like dangling for our lives. Like this is it, this where it ends.
And
All
then
whilst
every
trying to look
night,
beautiful.
and then every night we were like, "Well, is it going to happen again?"
Yeah, it definitely gives you a bit of a trauma to start
What
every
a
show
better
like
term,
that.
put the willies up, yeah.
Yeah,
Put the
that's
willies
the
up
one.
for the tour.
Yes.
Definitely did. Well, Charlotte, thanks for your question. Stern's been in touch as well. Can you remember the first time all of you met? So obviously you were back on Popstars Rivals, but do you remember meeting each other at the auditions and sort of seeding each other
Me
out?
and Kimberly, we were at the Manchester audition together.
Yeah, we were like one or two people behind each other, weren't we?
Yeah.
Because I was with my sister and we were just obsessed with her hair. The whole time in the queue and just looking at her hair like, oh my God.
Look at her hair.
Look at her hair.
Lovely head of hair.
Yeah.
And then when we did the callbacks, we were sat next to each other on the... We were all given numbers. I mean, I know, I'm sure you know. But we were sat next to each other and she was like... And I was going over my lyrics in my head and she was like, this is the song I'm singing, so I don't know. From what everyone else is doing, they're only giving them like a verse and a chorus, so I don't know. Should I sing the chorus and then the second verse because that shows my voice off more? Or should I show the first verse? And I was like, I think you should show the bit that shows your voice off more.
It literally gives you the fear thinking back to this, doesn't it? It's like...
I think I actually got up there and blanked after all that. I remember the first time I met you, she came up to me and asked me where my foundation was from.
Nadine, what about you? Do you remember meeting the girls for the first time?
Do you know, ish, but not really. Do you know what I mean? I remember Sarah, 100%. I remember Sarah. She had she was full of energy.
Was she the one that people would gravitate to in the room?
I remember
she was just so dynamic. She was like really loud, but really she would like jump around and run around. So it was, you couldn't not see her. Everyone else, I think, was more shy and reserved.
And frightened for their lives.
And scared was her. I was like, oh, let's get it, let's do it, let's go.
And she was like very loud with her body as well. Like it wasn't just
all limbs.
Like her limbs are going, so you're like, who's the girl in the corner with short, bright blonde
and she had like a crop top, belly top on her, like a six pack almost. Like
she was ready to go.
Abs. Yeah, she'd worked for this moment.
She was built for it.
Ready to be a star.
She was
you could
ready.
tell, you could really. She was really she stood out a lot.
I love the memories of it. But it does seem like a different life, doesn't it, Cheryl?
Yeah, it does actually.
Like it never happened.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is so crazy. Well, something that did happen, and I think we're going to play it now. This is Girls Aloud, Love Machine. It's Rylan, and I am joined by Kimberly, Cheryl, Nicola and Nadine for a Girls Aloud takeover right here on BBC Radio 2. Now, it's a busy time for the girls, and they're currently on tour, but they still found time for little old me. So let's get back to asking questions from fans, which came in ahead of today's show. We've also had another question come in from a celeb pal, Eurovision entry for this year, your friend and mine, Mr. Ollie Alexander. Love Ollie. Ollie says, what's your favourite moment each from your iconic TV series Off the Record? I mean, iconic, I've got to say that.
Oh, Lord.
How long we got?
Oh, God.
The peak
I've
of
got
Greek.
so many favourites.
Cheryl's peak of Greek.
But the little bit before, it was when Nadine put her head out the taxi.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Imagine I just came back in and it was just a net.
Listen.
I still don't even see that as funny at all. What if that genuinely happened? Like, I had my head stuck out the window. We couldn't breathe. Dangerous. We were on a motorway in Greece. I'm not sure the guy even had a license or owned that car that we were on.
I was so freaking out about who the driver was.
And I've got my head like peeled.
Imagine you did just come in just as a net.
That would have been me gone. That would have been it.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what? Seeing as our Ollie's got in touch, I think we should hear a bit of Ollie, wouldn't
I
you
do
think?
too.
Oh, here we go. This is Years and Years.
Gallery Aloud. Gallery Aloud.
Rylan, and it's the Girls Aloud takeover right here on BBC Radio 2. Now, I'm asking the girls questions from all you lovely fans which came in ahead of the show. Now, I feel like the four of you are like psychic Sallys because you've already brought someone up who I've now got another question from.
Oh.
Mr. Alan Carr. Oh, Alan, it's me, Alan. Alan's got in touch, and he says, I've got two questions, because he's done well for himself. We'll let him have two.
Let him have two, yeah.
Something kind of ooh is my ringtone.
Oh.
What's your ringtone? And if you could have recorded a song by any other female band, who would it be and why? That's two good questions.
Very good question.
So what's your ringtones, girls?
Ring. Mine's dry. It's like whatever the phone came with.
You're like ring ring. Your ring ring.
Same, it's on silent most of the
Mine
time.
is on
I
silent.
I don't think my phone's ever made a noise.
No. I think I had silent mode until I had a child.
And then that changed everything.
And now it's on high alert.
And now it's on
Scream, yes.
ultra loud, ultra loud. Well, let's talk about the other female bands. What song do you absolutely adore that you think, oh, I wish that was our one? That's a tough one.
Spice Girls, if you want to be my lover.
Bit of Wannabe.
Oh, Mama.
I think Wannabe's the big, huge one. I mean, I love loads of Little Mix songs as well.
Yeah.
They have so many good songs. Sugar Babes have amazing songs.
Sugar Babe.
I mean, the list goes on and on.
Never Ever by All Saints.
Oh,
Yes,
amazing.
She's the one.
I mean, I think there's too many to answer, but we can text Alan afterward to let him know. Joe Wolf's been in touch as well. Afternoon, Joe. If you were... honestly, you're like witches. If you were each a Spice Girl...
Oh, no way.
Which one would you be and why?
Oh,
I feel like I can relate to different ones for different reasons.
Yeah.
So Mel C is from where I'm from. I used to actually, her dance competition at dance school was then became my dance tape. So on the dance tape it said Mel C's competition tape, and then it became mine, and I was like freaking out, like, oh my God.
Honour.
So I feel like her, and then Victoria for the fashion.
Obvs.
And then
because
Jerry,
you are fashion.
and then Jerry for the hair.
So you'd be Ginger Sporty Posh?
Yeah.
Or Posh Sporty and Ginger? What would you prefer?
Well, visually Ginger. And then my roots are Mel C,
So sporty.
but my current fashions, like,
I mean,
love
that's it.
is
So it's
Victoria.
Ginger with the soul of sporty and the image of posh. That's
Yeah.
what we're going to go for.
That's great.
I'm going to go for... Nicola's gone for free. Dave, what you go
interest
for?
is
I think
Posh.
Nicola's just taking them all. She's she can just be. We can't top that. She's literally got it all.
You can't top Nick.
You can't top
a bit
Nicola.
of Mel B for the northern
Yeah.
Obviously.
roots. And then I think a bit of Baby as well.
Yeah, she's
I can relate to Emma. She's so lovely.
Bit of Em as well. What about you, Cheryl?
I'm going to let the girls take all of them. They've stole them all.
That's it.
There's
There's
not
none
a
left.
There is
Spice
none
Girl
left
left.
Sorry, babe, you're not a Spice Girl now. Unfortunately.
Spice up your life.
Spice up your life. Marty all the time's just got in touch and says, do you keep in touch... Right, you're all witches!
What's the matter?
Because we're predicting every question that
Do you
people are
keep in
sending.
touch with any of the Sugar Babes after you had that #1 single together with Walk This Way?
I used to live next door to Keisha.
What?
For years, we lived literally next door. Like, I'm talking her door and my door.
I did
like
not
that.
know that.
Yeah.
Where? Well, I mean, don't tell
Yeah,
me where.
no,
Well, I think I know where.
Yeah, where we all lived. Yeah. Next door. Still like text her now and again, and Heidi, because we went on a little trip together once for Comic Relief, so we bonded a little bit.
That's cute.
I like all of them, but there was only Keisha on that particular lineup when we had done Walk This Way.
That's true. There was an OG.
So now that the original, I love Mucha,
Keisha and Siobhan.
Keisha.
I'm so happy they're back
Yeah,
as well.
me too.
Cheryl, I asked Nadine earlier,
Oh,
but I want to know your favourite feel-good party song. What is it?
I think currently,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's always 90s R&B. It's going to always be the classic for all of us at parties and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think Cuff It, Beyonce.
Well, do you know what, babes? This one's just for you.
Thank you.
Rylan, and it's the Girls Aloud Takeover right here on BBC Radio 2. Now, I'm asking the girls questions from fans, which came in ahead of the show. So David's been in touch, and I've got to shout out David's handle, #TrashySpice, which I think we can all feel at some time. What is your favourite ever gig that you've performed?
Oh, God.
The Coldplay gig was epic.
That was pretty epic.
It was Girls Aloud, Jay-Z supporting Coldplay at Wembley Stadium.
As you
That
do.
was
I mean,
Sorry,
yeah.
why'd you say that so casually?
Well,
by
she
the
didn't
way?
mean it casually.
No,
You know, it's just like Jay-Z.
I did say epic.
How was it?
Insane.
Yeah, it was.
That was good, and we had been on tour not that long before.
Yeah.
Didn't we? So we were kind of really well rehearsed. We knew what we were doing, so we could just show up there and just do what we were already doing.
You were polished.
Which is always nice, isn't it? You can enjoy it more.
When you're not worrying, when it's like in your body to the deepest degree,
Yeah.
that's when it's the most fun.
It is.
It's second nature then.
Just feels normal.
You're at your most confident as well because you've just been with your fans for all that time.
Yeah.
So you're like, yeah, we could do this.
Actual women.
And we walked into Wembley and like he'd decorated the dressing rooms with like beautiful white silk drapes and there was flowers and we were like, well, it doesn't look like this on our tour.
That cleaning cupboard's got a bit bigger, innit?
Give us a gift, like a piece of jewellery.
Oh, wow.
Bracelet or something.
But
He
there
was
was
always
something.
so supportive, though, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he likes
He
the music.
actually personally asked us to do that.
That's really sweet.
Amazing.
And that actually makes it a lot more special, doesn't it?
Yeah.
'Cause it's not just like get whoever you can.
Yeah,
Or-
exactly.
Yeah.
I love that. And that was a really good question, actually. Nadine Cole fan on Twitter has got in touch. Hello, Nadine Cole fan, also known as Rylan. What is, we're talking of gifts, what is the strangest fan gift you have ever received? I'm going to chuck my hat in the ring and say I got a lock of someone's hair once.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know where it was from, though. Ooh. It wasn't that long, put it that way.
Yeah. Oh, it really took a dark turn there, Rylan.
I've had hair. What have you had, Dean?
I've had pictures where, you know, they send like letters and then there's pictures, but of like on the shower and stuff, or like, and I remember it came and it was like kind of like peering behind.
What?
And it was really weird, and it was like
just for the listener, Nadine did the action of peering
behind the shower curtain, and I was thinking, who took these pictures?
Who took them?
Who took them? It was really, there was a lot of questions to be asked.
Okay, so you've had peery shower photos.
Yeah, I've had that, but very unusual. I mean, that was it's hard to find. That was the weirdest.
Okay, well, that's not too
usually
bad.
they're lovely. Yeah.
Nicola?
I had someone put a letter through my parents' house when we first got in the band, not giving me a gift, asking for a gift of £300,000.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. For what? I don't know.
For their life.
Can I just say, though, I was going through a bit of a time at that point.
It was you.
Okay, so your weirdest gift was being asked for a gift. Cheryl, what about you?
I think you just get what they think is really thoughtful in that moment.
Yeah.
Like, I might have complained in an interview that I've got a sore leg, and then you'll get 25,000
deep heat
salt
rub.
pats,
Yeah.
deep heat rub. Yeah, they're really always quite thoughtful, I think.
They are quite cute, to be fair. Kim, what about you?
I can't think of any strange gifts, but I do remember somebody getting a tattoo of my entire face on their arm. And I was like, okay, that's deep. Wow. That's
It is
a lot.
really disturbing, because again, that has
It's
actually
just
happened
like,
to me.
you just feel so responsible, don't you? That they're going to have that.
Yes, because you think, what if I do something wrong one day and then my face is on your arm?
Yeah.
Well, that's on him. That's not your problem.
I know, but it's just like, please don't. Please don't do that. Okay, so this one's come in from Faye. And look, when you've been on a show like this, those shows can also produce other people. As we know, we had One True Voice, like the Clear Girl, like all of that. But when did you last see the Cheeky Girls?
I knew you were going to ask about the cheeky girls.
I thought they were in pop stars.
No, they were in our
They
show.
were. They didn't originate from
No, they did.
I think
did.
they did.
our show.
Yeah.
They never like.
Cheeky. No
And
way.
we brought them on. I'm sure we had them on. Do you remember when we done that thing and we the other girls came, the other contestants came back, and we had like Hazel came and done a song.
Oh my
We had like an episode.
Oh, it's an extra special
An extra
or
special
something.
episode.
Yeah.
I think the Cheeky Girls came on for
I
that.
do remember that now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
People
very
coming
excited to
back.
say they are here now. Give it up. I'm totally joking. I'm totally joking. Well, look, we're going to hear another one of those Girls Aloud bangers. This is Biology. Girls Aloud Biology. This is Rylan, and you're listening to the Girls Aloud Takeover right here on BBC Radio 2. And guess what? We're only halfway through. This is Rylan, and I'm here with Nadine, Cheryl, Nicola, and Kimberly. It is a Girls Aloud takeover. Yeah, woo indeed. Thank you very much. Let's do some more questions that have come in from fans ahead of the show. Jake MC's got in touch and says, has your favourite Girls Aloud song stayed the same, or has it changed throughout the years? Also, thank you for your service in pop music.
You're very welcome, Jake. Very welcome, yeah.
You should get a badge.
We should.
You should.
I feel
I'll make
like
you one.
as I've got older, I've appreciated certain songs better than what I did when I was young, but my ultimate has stayed the same.
What is your ultimate?
It's Untouchable.
I'll cry.
Yeah.
I love Untouchable.
It's just
a
so
gorgeous
like
track.
ethereal and
It's like euphoric.
chill. Yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful track. What about you, Cheryl?
I think mine's consistently stayed at The Promise.
The Promise.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I think that we'd hit a peak of our career by then where we knew what the industry was about. We'd kind of taken back some of our own control over we'd been told by the label, if you release this, it's career suicide.
Really?
And then for the fans to be like,
No.
where were the girls on this one? Was just like quite a euphoric moment, wasn't it, in our
And the
career?
Brit at the end of it
And then
all.
the Brit just topped it all off. It was just a feel-good time.
Just felt right.
It felt right.
Well, it was like everything had come to sort of a conclusion where we were, for all those years, trying to get to that place. And it was like the tour was sold out. The album was midweek #1. The single was midweek #1. We were nominated for a Brit. It was like everything
We'd
we'd
arrived.
ever wanted was like there at that time.
It was the perfect time.
Yeah.
Everything was going perfect. Nadine, what about you?
I've always loved Sound of the Underground. Love Sound of the Underground. But
The
now,
original.
my favourite is Something New.
Something New was because that was when I was on X Factor. That's when you brought that out. 2012. Yeah.
Wow.
Something New.
And you're just a little pup. You're
Just
just
a little
so
baby.
cute.
Just a little baby. That's when you brought that out. And I remember being on the show and people going, apparently Girls Aloud are going to release
But
a
it
new
also
song.
feels
Wow.
like you've been around for way
does.
longer than 10 years.
It's just my face looks old.
No,
That's
it
why.
doesn't.
That's
You just
why.
like fat right on where you just.
But I was listening to it on the way in today, and every time I hear something new, because obviously that was like the comeback. I hate the word comeback.
Yeah.
It was like your big comeback single. And every time I hear it, I just remember being backstage at X Factor with the floor manager and it coming on and we going, please, can you play it through the PA? Because obviously we were all rehearsing. We're like, please, can you play it through the PA? And they went, all right. And they played it and all of us were just like, go, girls, go, 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 go. And it just reminds me of such a good time. Yeah, it just reminds me of such a good time. I love that song.
Yeah, me too.
Absolute bop. Kim, what about you, babe?
It has changed over the years for sure. I think my ultimate favourite is The Promise for all those reasons, but I have a lot of love for Call the Shots as well.
Call the Shots is a gorgeous track as well.
Yeah, and I really like performing it live because I feel like everyone gets involved, and when you hear everyone singing it back, it's just like a really special moment.
And again, that's another bit like Untouchable. It's a real euphoric track, especially that end bit. It's just so nice, especially to perform on tour. That must be so lovely.
It's gorgeous.
It's like a moment between you all. You've got too many good songs for me to choose, and I'm not just saying that to flatter you.
What the first one that comes to
The first one that comes to my head is from when I first started going out and going to bars and clubs when I shouldn't, and doing the dance routine, making out I had a broomstick to the show. The show was just like, it was set in a salon. I was like, oh, it's so great.
very camp.
Yeah, it was really camp. It was really camp. But yeah, I just loved the show, and like just that breakdown bit with Sarah. Like, I just loved it. I loved that track. That's one of my favourites. So we were talking about pop stars' arrivals earlier. All the way back in 2002, you had Jerry, you had Pete, and you had Louis. Have you managed to bump into any of the judges since, obviously,
I've seen
Pop Star?
Jerry.
Seen Jerry.
Yeah, seen Jerry quite a lot.
Is it weird that obviously
No.
you've done it? You've completed it, if you like.
It feels like...
I've never seen Pete Waterman again, have you?
No.
Have you not?
No, never.
Even I saw Pete the other week.
Never? Yeah, no, I haven't seen Pete for... And then obviously Louis is Louis, that's that. But no, Jerry's
saw Louis
lovely
then.
because now we're all grown-up women.
Yeah.
Like back then she was a woman, we were kids.
Girls.
Yeah.
Young girls.
But now that we're all women and mothers and there's so much more to relate to, it's just an appreciation now for each other, I think, more than anything.
Well, I think in honour of the Halliwell Horner, let's play a bit of Bag It Up.
Okay.
Bag It Up from Jerry Halliwell Horner, formerly the judge on Pop Stars The Rivals, the show from which Girls Aloud were born back in 2002. Now, the girls are here with me now for a Girls Aloud takeover here on BBC Radio 2, and we're going to be answering some questions sent in ahead of the show today.
So Josh has been in touch and wants to know an artist you wish Girls Aloud had collaborated with, but didn't. Oh, we could go on.
We were asked this quite a lot during our height, and we never felt like we needed it. We felt complete, just the five of us.
We're all right, thanks.
Yeah, we're all right, love.
We'd be slightly off balance as well, like 5 and then 1.
Yeah.
Or 5 and 5, which would just be hell.
Yeah.
10 of us rocking around.
10 of you running around, it'd be like Blazing Squad. Yeah. So, Nicola, I want to come to you, babe, because I know you like a little party.
I do.
In your fashion outfit. What is that feel-good track for
I
you?
love that Whitney song, $1 Million.
$1 Million Bill. Like $1 million bill.
I'm like I'm out of my chair when that comes on.
Is that what you want?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like the biggest Whitney.
Well, get that chair back, babe, because this one is just for you.
Girls Aloud with Something Kinda Ooh.
You're listening to Rylan. It's the Girls Aloud Takeover right here on BBC Radio 2. This is coming from McFly.
Okay.
And the boys have asked, as one of the most successful girl bands in the UK in the last 20 years, there is a burning question on everybody's lips. Which member of McFly would you snog, go on a night out with, marry and avoid?
And who sent the question? Danny.
I don't get involved. I don't get involved with the questions.
I'm guaranteed to be Danny.
Do you reckon it's a bit of Danny
It's
Jones?
like that cheeky chappy
It's
thing.
him, innit?
Isn't
I
it?
was recently on a night out with Danny at the Brits party, and I ran up to him and I was like, "You're Piranha!" And we had this like love off of the massing, and he was like, because I went to see McFly last November, and he was like, "I wanted to tell you when you came in, but obviously I wasn't allowed."
Is it nice to bump into someone who's done the same
'cause
experience?
and it was just great that he loved the experience as well. So we were both just like, "And what about this person? And what about when that happened?" And yeah.
As for his question, I think we'll avoid them all because they're all married men. Like,
This is it. This is
We're
it.
not here for that.
But if there's any hanging about, I'll take the left.
Hang
though.
about.
But we have, honestly, we have so many memories of like the back in the day with McFly. They were in the same time as us,
Yeah.
and it's so lovely seeing them now with their families on tour again and smashing it. Like, they're so talented. A lot of respect for them.
Well,
but
I
not
love
that
that new
question.
album of theirs as
Yeah,
well.
new album's brilliant.
So good.
So good.
So good.
It's still McFly, but it's grown up McFly.
It's very good.
It's so weird. Everyone grows up. Why can't we just all stay young forever? Well, look, in honour of the boys, let's have a bit of McFly.
Yes.
McFly and All About You.
This is Rylan, and you're listening to the Girls Aloud Takeover right here on BBC Radio 2. So now, ladies, this is where they hand it over to me. And I've had a little hat with some random questions in, and we've chosen a few of them. So I want to know, what's the last text in your phone? Oh.
It's so dry.
Is it going to be
Texted
dry?
Adam from management to tell him that we're here properly, all of us.
It's going to be.
No, it's
I turned my phone off as a
that
mark
you
of
received.
respect.
I've
That
got
you,
another one.
Mark of
you
respect.
received or that you sent.
That you, well, I'll let you choose because one could be more
Mine
dangerous
is
than the other.
I'm Kimberly. I'm here. We're waiting for someone to bring us up.
Rivet and stuff.
Riveting.
Exactly.
This is what the fans have come for.
Exactly.
Nicola, what's yours?
It's the Girls Aloud to management chat.
I'm gone. What's the message?
Cheryl, I'm here.
I didn't think this through. The same message is going to be for everyone. Kim, have you got any juice for me?
No, I'm literally looking and I'm like, such worky, like, management, boring stuff.
Another question that came in. Have you ever thought about representing the UK at Eurovision?
No.
Do you know what? It's a blooming huge responsibility. I don't think I can cope with the pressure.
You do realise, like, it is the biggest thing in the world. Did any of you ever been to Eurovision?
Me and Kim,
yeah,
me
we
and
went
Kimberly
last
went last
year.
year.
It was
You
wild.
came to Liverpool.
Yes.
See, for me, Liverpool didn't feel like a real Eurovision. Obviously, 'cause
Really?
it was host nation. So, favourite Girls Aloud meme that you've ever seen about yourselves or each other? I think I've got to say I have to go back to Nadine's passport.
Oh, God.
Date of birth.
That is
always.
good.
And, I mean, it's pre-Girls
obviously up
Aloud.
there.
What's so annoying about that is because everybody knows exactly how
How old you are?
There's no getting away from it at all. I'm like, oh, what am I, 32 or 30? They're like, no.
I think it's every year whenever
Yes,
it's
we know.
whenever it's the Oscars or the BAFTAs, there's always Nadine Cole's passport has been spotted at the Oscars, and it's like a cutout of an Irish passport, and then the legs are just underneath it.
It sells as a Halloween costume, you know.
It's brilliant. I've got it.
Yeah, you've got it.
I was going to wear it for my book launch,
It's an
but when you turned up, I was like, I better not. Take it off. What's your favourite memes, girls? Come on.
Oh, God, why have we not done a TikTok of that, Nadine? That's the next one for you.
There's, what did I see? There was something the other night, and I was so impressed with Anaya because it was somebody doing something to Cheryl's voice. And Anaya looked at me like,
And
that's
she
Cheryl.
recognised
She
the
knew it was you. And I was like, did you know that was Cheryl's voice? She was like, yeah.
Is it the one that says, then you slowly realise you just can't go to the garage and get a pint of milk
Baby, it
anymore?
was something.
There's one of them, and then there's a
One of mine that always make me laugh is I can't explain exactly what it is on a BBC Radio 2 show, but there's a scene, shall we say, but then it's your voice, Cheryl, over the top going, weak, limp, legless.
Oh my God.
And lastly, fashion disaster. What is that one outfit that you look back and think,
Oh, God, there's all of it.
absolutely not?
there's hundreds.
Oh, come on, don't be stupid.
The
It can't be
beginning.
hundreds.
Basically,
The silver.
everything up until Out of Control, I'd say that's when the budget got better.
Silver.
It's true.
Was that it?
No good advice.
Silver, no good
Oh,
advice.
God.
That didn't
Horrendous.
fit us. That was splitting. It was literally like
I actually think-
it was. We were getting yes.
I
we
think
did
jump
that shoot from 6 in the morning.
jump is worse than no good
Jump's-
advice. At least
Jump's
no good
just as
advice
bad.
had a direction.
Yeah,
And it was leather. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
never tinfoil. It was
Yeah, that's
silver
right.
leather.
Leather.
Jump was
Yeah.
horrific.
Well, listen, girls, we're going to play a little track, but do not go anywhere because I've got a few more questions just for you.
It's Girls Aloud with Wake Me Up.
You're listening to Rylan. It's the Girls Aloud Takeover right here on BBC Radio 2. Right, so we've got a couple more questions from fans that have come in. Brendan has asked, what actually is a disco bunny?
Disco bunny. It's a good point.
What is it?
Someone that loves to go and dance at the disco, I think.
Like a Duracell bunny, but a disco bunny.
Other brands are
I guess
available.
just a
There you go.
disco, a person that just
Yeah.
dances all night long.
Like, you know, and there's...
So it's nothing
it's usually
sordid?
me, really. No, like the one that's on the dance floor all night, don't want to leave.
All right, we'll take that one.
Sarah would have been Girls Aloud's equivalent.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sarah was the disco
bunny.
bunny of the group.
Yeah.
That's what we'll take. So, Kim, I've asked the other girls, they're absolute floor filler bangers. What is that one song that turns Kimberly into a disco bunny?
Good point, good point. Do you know what? I'm going to take it back and be a little bit reminiscent of one of our tours. This was actually a dance break on one of our tours. It is guaranteed to get us all on the dance floor.
Go on.
And it's Destiny's Child, Lose My Breath.
And you all do that, do you?
Yeah, we all do
We
the
did a breakdown
action.
of that.
Yeah, we did it. Oh, no, it wasn't, was it?
It's this one thing
Yeah.
that got me.
No, we
tripping.
didn't. But look, Lose My Breath.
It was Amory.
I know we did that, definitely.
Amory,
we didn't
one
ever
thing.
do anything for
Never
Lose
did
My Breath.
any of them.
Should I change the song or change the...
No, I just think it's quite nice that this is what you all like, to be honest. When we did
I
that
genuinely
on tour.
thought we did both.
Do you know what? It don't matter where you've done it.
This
Kim.
never happened, but can we still play it?
Yeah. This one's just for you, gorgeous. This is Rylan, and this is a Girls Aloud takeover here on BBC Radio 2. You just heard an absolute bop that is something new. Now, this question has come in from Sarah Harding fans on Twitter. It's the Sarah Addicts. What is your favourite memory of the gorgeous Sarah?
I mean, God, you're talking
How
about
long we got?
20 years
How long
of
have
them.
you got? Yeah.
There's little moments that you would share with that individually on stage, on tour, where there's no more Sarah than in that moment, and I can't describe what. Like, nobody else would know her that way.
Yeah.
Other than us four.
It was just between the five of you.
Yeah.
That is
For
absolutely
me,
gorgeous.
I just love, like, I can see it in my mind whenever I want seeing her perform Footloose on tour.
Yeah.
To me,
Living
just
it.
like
She was in her element.
epitomizes like everything about her that was just so electric and like wild, and the way she moved, like everything. I'm like, if I need to feel Sarah, that's what I watch.
I have a really, really early one, and we were still in the Pop Stars Arrivals house. It was bonfire night, and me and Sarah desperately wanted to go back up north. We had like one day off the next day. We were like, please, begging production. So they were like, fine. They got us a car, took us to Euston. I got on my train, she got on her train, and we were like, bye, I'll see you in a day or so. And then my train stopped at Crewe, pulled up at Crewe, and I just looked out the window, and Sarah was on the platform.
What?
With a suitcase, and then I just looked at her. She looked at me. She started waving her arms around. She was like, "Help me! Like my train!" And I was like, "Help you!" Like and then my train started slowly like driving up, and I was like, "Hi, guys."
Bye.
It was just like so hard to be like
Classic.
flustered and just in a panic, and
We'd be flying to we'd be flying home. Remember when we used to all try and whiz back on a radio, and occasionally I would say Sarah on the motorway, and she would try and goad us into girl racing her.
Oh.
No, I'm not joking you. She'd be like, "Come on, let's," in our car next to me, and then I'm Sarah, stop it!
What are you doing? What about you, Nadine?
I had so many tour ones, so many nights out, so many mornings after the nights out.
can
And we would
imagine.
just like look at one another like, are you all right? Like, we'd only literally seen each other like half an hour before.
Sounded
We
like
literally
Frank
went
Butcher.
and showered and then came back ready to do whatever it was we were doing. But not that long ago, recently I went to see her in Manchester. We went out for a night out. And I was making friends outside with people, and she kept banging on this window. She's like, "What are you doing? You're just talking to strangers. You can't be just going talking to strangers." I was like, "Sarah, it's fine." And then we sat outside, just talking to strangers, and I sat in her knee the whole time. And I was like, "No, you sit in my knee now." So we took turns, and we just had the best night. Just such a laugh, really, like old times again. Even though she wasn't well, she was just so. Just Sarah, just full of life.
Well, that's gorgeous. And you know what? Obviously, she's so sorely missed. And I know she's going to be missed for forever when it comes down to the five of you. And in Sarah's honour, I think we should play one of the fan favourites. This is I'll Stand By You. Is Rylan, and this is a Girls Aloud takeover right here on BBC Radio 2. I want to ask about the tour. I mean, the tour is... You are known for the tours that you do. You are... incredible. Every single tour that you've done, you take it to this level and then you crank it up even further. For fans that still haven't seen you on tour yet, what could they expect to see?
This is the biggest stage that we've ever had before. So there is a lot going on. There's been all these years of kind of having to have all the songs that we have together to just have the chance to put it all on and to do it with everybody. And we've all been through a hard time and we're doing it without Sarah, so it's nice to kind of have us all back together again, because a lot of the fans we grew up with, a lot of them were the same age as us growing up, and now, you know, we've got younger ones, but it's nice to kind of have us all back together again in the one room, just having a good time. Girls Aloud style.
Girls Aloud style.
And like you said, I felt like we always came into our own on tour. That was what we absolutely loved to do. And we've definitely tried to crank it up another level.
I just think that you cannot beat the feeling nostalgia creates.
No.
Yeah.
And it's such an honour to be that for somebody. Like, obviously, we have moments and songs that create them feelings for us.
Of course.
So to be that feeling for somebody else is such a blessing.
This is a first, isn't it? It's like a whole different experience to be that as well, on top of everything else. And Sarah's such a huge, huge part of the show.
Of course she is.
It's an amazing thing that we're able to even do this, to be honest. It is a real privilege.
Well, you girls have really changed my life in an amazing way, because I feel like the 5 of your voices have been the soundtrack to my actually becoming an adult. And like I was talking about earlier with the show, that I've just got such fond memories of like the first time I went up London, up the big town, and actually actually got in a club and all of this. And it's just have always been that steady constant of milestones in my life, professionally and personally. And doing this has just been the biggest pleasure for me. So I cannot thank you enough for coming in here. I can't wait to see you in that arena. It's going to be such a special moment for so many people. But before I let you go, I need to ask you one last thing. Looking back, is there anything that Girls Aloud would change?
Sarah being here.
Yeah.
Goes without saying.
Yeah.
Goes without saying. I love you, ladies, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for coming in to Radio 2. Give it up for the wonderful Girls Aloud!
And Rylan! Thanks, Rylan.